We're starting this first Sarga of Kiratarjuniyam, which is there for Chittur Samartha paper 2. It is also prescribed in many universities actually. More than any other Sarga. The first Sarga and the second Sarga are the oft repeated as part of syllabus in many universities, and it's because of the fact that Bharavi has put in most of his effort in the first three sargas. So that is like the crux of politics. Chanakya Niti and Shukra Niti comes in there, and how a king should rule. The rules of the kings and that Dharma Shastra, Raja Dharma comes within the first three sargas. So it's very important. We also come to know about Bharavi's Artha Gauravam. He is known for his Artha Gaurava. So Upama Kalidasasya Bharaver Artha Gauravam Dandinav Padalalityam Maghe Santi Trayo Gunaha. This is a popular shlokam. If you remember, we did Kaviji Vitani last time, and we read about Bharavi in that, where we saw that he belonged to the 600 AD. There is this, actually he belonged to the 500 AD, early 500 AD. 600 AD inscription gives Bharavi's name along with Kalidasa's name. So he must have been a Prasiddha poet by that time. He has written this only single work. There are this one work wonders, in Sanskrita literature, like Magha, who has written only Shishupala Vadha. You have Bhattanarayana, who has written only one Natakam, which is Veni Samharam. You've read it in, you will read it now in Samartha. And mother, you have one work wonders. So Bharavi is another person like that. So he has written this Kiratarjuniyam, which has about 18 sargas in total, 18 cantos totally. And it follows the story of how Arjuna goes to the forest, and for doing penance, he wants to do tapas to Shiva and get the Pashupatastram. That is his goal here. That comes somewhere around the 14th, 15th sargas. It is nowhere near here that we will be reading that. The story starts with the Pandavas are in the forest. They are doing their 12-year Vanavasam. They have still not gone into the Ajñatavasa. Even though they are in the forest, Yudhishtira wants to know about what is happening in the kingdom. He employs spies and everybody. So there is this Divya element in Mahabharatam which is completely removed by Bharavi here. When he is doing this as a mahakavyam, he completely takes out a lot of Divya aspects, that is some magical occurrences and all that. So he just brings that only during the fight between Shiva and Arjuna. Otherwise, the rest of it goes on like how a normal person would talk. A normal person would try to find out what is happening in the kingdom, etc. In Mahabharatam, there is no character of Vanechara who comes and tells him the story and all that. This you can say is a way of Bharavi trying to connect with the Puranam to modern times or his modern time in 500 AD. Okay. So there is, so Yudhishtira and his brothers along with Draupadi are in the forest. Yudhishtira wants to know how Duryodhana is ruling the kingdom. So he has asked or sent a lot of spies. One of them has come back and he is going to report. So this first sarga has about, I think, 46 shlokas. Yeah, 46 shlokas totally. And the first section of about 25 shlokas is the speech that the spy tells him. How Duryodhana rules the kingdom is being reported by the Vanechara. The second portion of it is a speech by Draupadi, who listens to this Vanechara's ukti, Vanechara's words, and she responds to them. So Vanechara is a person who is a forest dweller. How can he get spies? The Yudhishtira has to employ people who are around him. He figures out a forest dweller. He he employs him as a spy and asks him to go in the disguise of a Brahmana. A Brahmana has access to many parts which other people may not have. So it is easier for him to go right into the palace and figure out what is happening in Duryodhana's rule. So that is why a spy who may be a Vanechara, who is a Vanechara, that is, he is a forest dweller, Kirata, yet Yudhishthira employs him, asks him to put on a disguise of a Brahmana and try to find out how Duryodhana is ruling. Now this is where the Mahakavyam starts. Bharavi takes his source from Mahabharatam mostly. He also takes some from Shiva Puranam. He makes his own changes, many changes. Actually, in Mahabharatam, you will find that Bhima's character is very impulsive and all that, whereas here he is more of a studied, calm statesman who, looks at the pros and cons and weighs everything, and he is more a calm personality here and shrewd politician rather than the impulsive person that is being described in Mahabharata. So this is how a Kavi changes the character also to suit the qualities of a Mahakavya. So why is this termed as a Mahakavyam? There have to be Sargas in a Mahakavyam. Sarga bandho Mahakavyam uchyate tasya lakshanam. So the lakshanam of a Mahakavyam is where it is divided into Sargas in different canto or sections, chapters we say. So the chapter's name is Sargaha, Prathamas Sargaha. So there are 18 such chapters. This is not the only thing. There have to be descriptions of the city, the Ritu, Chandrodayam, Suryodaya, Chandra Astamanam, Surya Astamanam, Vivaha, birth, Janma. All of these there are many big lists that Alankarikas give you. You don't need to use all of those in your Kavyam. Some of it has to be there. So that way, this follows the Lakshanas of a Mahakavyam also. The first shloka in this, which is the Mangala shloka, Shriyah kurunam adhipasya palanim prajasu vrittim yamayunkta veditum savarnilingi viditas samayayo yudhishtiram dvaitavane vanecharaha. So Mangala shlokas can be of three types: Ashir, Namaskriya, Vastu Nirdesho, Vapi Tanmukham. So the first shloka of any work can be of three types. One is Ashihi, Ashirvadatmakam. The second is, it can be a Namaskriyaatmakam, that is Aham Namami, Aham Vande, Vagartha Sampraktau, Vande Parvati Parameshwarau. So Aham Vande, that is a Namaskriyaatmakam. Ashihi, Avatun Vaha, let him protect you. Vastabihi, Ashtabihi, Ishaha, Tanubihi, Avatu. Naha, Avatu, Vaha. So let Shiva protect you all. It's like a Ashirvadatmakam. So, a blessing. The third type is what we need here, which is Vastu Nirdesha. Vastu Nirdesha is trying to set the stage for the plot. So the plot for the entire Kavyam is how Duryodhana is ruling, and based on that, the ensuing actions happen. Because Duryodhana is ruling in a very good manner, Vyasa comes in and says, you have to have a divine power with you. Otherwise, you cannot go and defeat Duryodhana. So go and seek for that Pashupatastram from Shiva. So this becomes the Bijam for the entire 18 Sargas here. And that Bijam is called the Vastu or the plot, which is described in the first shloka itself. Kurunam adhipasya palanim Veditum. So this is a type of Vastu Nirdesha where the plot of the Kavyam is being presented in the first shloka. There is no Vande, Avatu, Ityadikam Nasti. So it is a type of Vastu Nirdesha. At the same time, even if it is Vastu Nirdesha, you try to figure out if there are any Divya aspect that is being mentioned here, so that there is a remembrance, there is a, we can think about the God, Bhagavan at that point of time. So here he starts off with the word Shrihi. So that itself is an indication of Shrihi, Lakshmi. So as a namaskara for Shri, by mentioning her name itself, becomes a kind of a Mangala Arambha. Okay. The shlokas in this Sarga are in the meter called Vamshastha. The Lakshanam for the meter is Jatau tu Vamshastham Udiritam Jarau. Jatau, Ja, Ta, Jagana, Tagana. Again another Jagana, and then there is a Ragana. So there are totally 3 into 4, 12 aksharas in this meter. So Jatau, the meter, the Lakshanam of the meter itself will fit with its own Lakshanam. So it will be like Jatau tu Vamshastha Mudiritam Jarau. That will be in Vamshastha. So that's the unique quality of Vrittaratnakara's Lakshanam, where Vrittaratnakara is a text where the Lakshanas of Chandas are given. When you look at the definitions of each meter in Vrittaratnakaram, the definition line itself will follow the meter. So you don't need to think of another shloka to give us that. Here, so Jatau, Jagana is Rajabhana, Madhya Guru. Okay, so Jatau Tu. So you have 2 Laghu, in the middle you have Madhya Guru. Then you have Antima Guru. So Jatautu Antima Laghu, yeah. So Vamshastham. Tha here is Laghu here. And then Udiritam. Again Laghu, Guru, Laghu. Then you have Guru, Laghu and Guru. Seriya? That is a Ragana. The meter, another point of definition for a Mahakavyam is every Sargam has to follow only 1 meter until the end of the Sarga comes in. We've seen this in Yadavabhyudayam also. So at the end you will find the meter changing in 45 and 46. Purassaradhama atra nasti. Athakshamam, that is also not there. Nasamaya parirakshanam kshamanante. The 45th and the 46th. It depends on the poet to decide the number of shlokas that he wants to change the meter. Some poets just change the last shloka. That's all. Some poets decide, okay, I want to change 4, I want to have 4 different meters. Let me do the last 4 as different shlokas. So it completely depends on the poet's, whatever he feels like. So here it is only 45 and 46. The meter changes. And the meter is also, name is also given there. One is Pushpitagra, the other is Malini Nanikara. Vidhi Samayana Yogat, Malini Vrittam. Okay. Huh? Any questions? Malini. Okay. So, rest of the Sarga is in Vamshastha. Shriyah Kurunam Adhipasya Palani Prajasu Vrittim Yam Ayunkta Veditum Savarnilingi Viditaha Samayayo Yudhishtiram Dvaitavane Vanecharaha. Yudhishtira is now in Dvaitavanam. Dvaitavanam is the name of the forest that they are in Dvaitavana. Yudhishtiram Samayayo. Kaha Samayayo Vanecharaha Samayayo. Vanecharaha Vanecharati iti Vanecharaha. It's an aluk samasa where the Saptami Vibhakti is not gone. So Vanecharaha, a forest dweller, one who roams around in the forest. Saha Yudhishtiram Samayayo Dvaitavane, in Dvaitavana, in the forest where Yudhishthira is staying, he comes and reaches Yudhishtira Samayayo. Katham, what was he appointed for? So Kurunam Adhipasya Shriyaha Palanim Prajasu Vrittim Veditum Yam Ayunkta. The one who was appointed, Yam Ayunkta, whom Yudhishthira had appointed before to learn about how Duryodhana was ruling and how was he behaving with the subjects of Hastinapura. So Kurunam Adhipasya, Kurunam Adhipaha, Kuru is a Janapada word. That is, it's a word which is denoting the country and the people in that country. So it should always be in plural. You never say Kuroho Adhipaha. So Kurunam Adhipaha Eva. So there is a particular rule for that. So Kurunam Adhipaha, it should be in Bahuvachanam only. Kuru Janapadanam Adhipaha, one who is the ruler of the country Kuru. Adhipasya Shriyaha Palanim. Palani is the rule, the rule of the kingdom. Shrihi. Shrihi is Rajya Shrihi. So how is he ruling the kingdom here? And Prajasu Vrittim, along with his Vritti. Vritti is Vyavahara, his behavior in the matter of Prajaha. Saptami is in Vishaya Saptami here. So Prajasu Vrittim. பிரஜைகளிடத்தில் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா அந்த மாதிரி. So Prajasu Vrittim and his Vyavahara towards the subjects. Veditum Ayunkta. He was appointed to understand, to know how about all of these things. So Palanim Vrittim cha Veditum Yam Ayunkta Saha Vanechara. The one who was appointed, or Yudhishtiraha Yam Nyayojayat Saha Vanecharaha. How was he? Varnilingi. Varnilingi na Brahmachari Veshavan. Seems very simple here, but Varnaha ityukte, it can Varna can mean all four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, etc. But when you just mention Varna, it can also mean the best among the Varnas. So Varnaha asya asti, if you say, then it means Prashasti, the best, the one who has taken upon the lingam, the identification marks of the best among the Varnas. So Varni, Varnaha asya asti iti Varni. So that indicates a Brahmana, and Brahmanasya lingam yasya vartate. Lingam here refers to character or the indications, chinnam, symbols. So one who possesses the symbols of a Brahmana, even though he was a Vanechara. So Vanecharaha kintu saha varnilingi asit viditaha san, having known everything. He was appointed to know about how Duryodhana was ruling and how he behaved with the Prajaha. Now, Viditaha san, having understood this, having known all of this, Yudhishtiram Samayayav, he came to Yudhishtira. Okay? Is it clear? So, the Anvaya is given here. If someone can read the Pratipadartha and the Bhavartha, then we can go over that. Okay? So, who wants to go first?
I can read.
Okay.
You want me to read the Anvaya?
Yeah. Anvayam vanda. You can just start with the Pratipadartha. If you don't understand any word there, then we can go over that word.
Pratipadartha kurunam kurujanapadanam adhipasya rajnyaha sambandhinim shriyaha rajyalakshmyaha.
So Rajnyaha Rajyalakshmyaha or Rajnyaha Sambandhinim Rajyalakshmi. So it is something that is related to the king. It is not his own. He cannot have ownership of the entire kingdom, but it belongs to him.
Palanim Paripalayitrim.
அப்படின்னா rule. Palyate anena iti shasanam. Yes, shasanam.
Prajasu janeshu vrittim vyavaharam veditum jnatum yam panecharam ayunkta niyuktavan varnilingi brahmachari veshavan saha vanecharaha saha kirataha viditaha vrittanta jnanaman san, having got all the information, collected all the information. Okay. Dvaitavane dvaitanamake ashrame sthitam Yudhishtiram Dharmarajam Samayav Sampraptavan. Dharmarajaha Kurujanapadanam Rajnyaha Duryodhanasya Rajyalakshmi Vardhakam Janavyavaharam Jnatum Kanchana Vanecharam Niyuktavan.
If you can translate that, just
okay. Dharmarajaha Yudhishtira Gurujanapadanam Rajnyaha Duryodhanasya of the king of the Kuru, the
country,
residents of the Kuru country, that king Duryodhanasya Rajalakshmi Vardhakam Jana Vyavaharam. His rulership as well as his
behavior
along amongst the his
subjects,
country people. Jnatum kanchana vanecharam niyuktavan. In order to know that, he had appointed some vyada, some vanechara, some this thing. Saha kirataha brahmachari beshena. That vyadha, that person, he took, he went in the vesha of a brahmachari. Sarva vrittantam jnatva. Having known all the news, all the information, collected all the information, Pratinivrittaha, he got back. Dvaitavane stitasya swaprabhoho dharmarajasya sakasham agachat. He came to Dharmaraja, his leader, who was there in Dvaitavana. He came he came to his sakasham. He came near him, or he approached him with all the news gathered.
Yeah. Okay, so some of the samasa vigraha vakyam is given here. Varni lingi, varnaha asya asti iti varni, varninaha lingam asya asti iti. So varni lingi, a very peculiar word. Yudhishtiraha, yudhi sthiraha, yudhishtiraha. Tam. Dvaitavane. You can go over the samasas, the vigraha vakyam. If you have any doubts, then we can go over that.
That is also aluk samasama, yudhishtiraha.
Yes, ama. Adu alukada. Because on the Yudhi, the Saptami is still there. Okay. Alankara, there are both Shabdalankaras and Arthalankaras, but in this first shloka, we only have Shabdalankara. So there is Anuprasa, where there a combination of both consonant and vowel is repeated. Vane, vane, iti, vane charaha.
Okay. The interesting word I found here was viditaha, which I initially thought it was like tapratyaya, but then it would be kartari and it won't fit because it is a sakarmaka dhatu. But I just found out that it is a tadita, harshadibhyovach, and he says viditam asya asti iti viditaha. Nama vedanam asti, Malinath's commentary.
Okay.
Viditam asya asti iti viditaha. Vedanam asya asti iti. Using it's not ikta. At first glance, it seems like ikta, but it's not.
Okay. Because you can't have kartari.
Yeah.
Okay.
And going back to your first comment about Bhima's character being portrayed like this, in Shishupala Bhima is still a passionate and outspoken guy, right? He's also appearing there.
Shishupala Vadhatla, I haven't read that section actually. I haven't seen any section with Bhima's character. Idili Veni Samharatla, he is a very outspoken character, very impulsive character also in Veni Samhara.
And Bharavi comes after Magha?
No. Yavadbha Bharaver Bhati Tavad Maghasya ஒன்னு இருக்கே Magha comes later, so he had all three qualities. That is why. So Yavadbha Bharaver Bhati, as long as Bharavi was he's
Maghe meghe gatam vaya.
Yes, when you Navasarge Gate Maghe, Navashabdona Vidyate, Maghe Meghe Gatam Vayaha, in both Megha Sandesha and when you read Magha's Shishupala Vadam, your life is gone. Adve Poro Abdina. Yavadbha Bharaver Bhati nu ஒரு ஸ்லோகம் இருக்கு. Tavadbha Bharaver Bhati. Sorry. Yavadbha Bharaver Bhati. Tavadbha Bharaver Bhati Yavan Maghasya Nodhayaha. As long as Magha has not risen, until then Bharavi's Bha, the Prakasham, Bhati, it shines. And then the second line is Udite Naishade Kavye Kva Maghaha Kvacha Bharavi. When Naishatakara came in, Magano Bharavi irukra idam theriyala.
Wonderful.
அந்த மாதிரி.
Maga is supposed to contain certain qualities. Bharavi is supposed to, like that Dandinaha Lalityam, like that there is some.
Ada Artha Gauravam sonnene. So Upama Kalidasasya Bharavehe Artha Gauravam. So Artha, we will see that. Actually, fourth shloka varche Vinischitartham iti vachamadade. And that you will see that Artha Gauravam. So Artha Gauravam nale the force of the words. He would Alpaireva Vakyaihi Bahuartha Vyanjakam. That's his style. So he uses very little words to convey a great meaning.
Magasya?
Edu?
Nalu சொல்லுவாங்கலையா?
Trayo Maghe Santi. Okay, Upama Kalida. சொல்லுங்க. Upama
Dandina Padalalityam Bharave Artha Gauravam Upama Kalidasasya Maghe Santi Trayo Gunaha. But I also heard one of this thing. The last is Bana Bhatte Ridam Trayam. Like that also I've heard, but somebody said it is not correct. Maga only is that. I don't know.
Maganda. Bana Bhatta kadayadu. You know, all of these people are poetry writers. He is a Gadya writer.
Gadya, that's correct. But Maga.
What I heard was Magha, Maghe Santi Trayogunaha means he has that all three Ojas, Madhurya and Prasada Guna. Not all the three gunas of these three poets. That's what I heard. I think Ganesh Savdani has told that.
I think it's very benefiting or very befitting of Kavya analysis. Even analyze this particular statement also.
You can say that, but the point of the shloka itself is to say that Magha has used Upama also. He has Artha Gauravam because he follows Bharavi a lot, and the sweetness of the words that Dandi has is also present in Magha. So it is that he has these three qualities. Everybody has Ojas, Madhuryam and Prasada Guna, because each one of those poets have displayed all the rasas. So you have Madhuryam in Shringara, Karunam, Vipralamba Shringara, etc. You have Raudra, Bhibatsa, then you will have to use Ojas Gunam. If you are portraying any other rasa, then Prasada Gunam should be there in every other rasa. So Trayo Gunaha tu Sarveshwapi Kavi Kavyeshu Bhavitavyameva. So it's his way of nicely saying that.
Yeah, he
twist.
puts Kalidasa on the pedestal and then he says nobody matches him, and that's why he doesn't want Maga to get that position.
I know. See, a lot of people are biased towards Kalidasa because there is one Madhuryam that is there in the shlokas. As you read Bharavi, you will understand. You've all read Raghuvamsha, right? Nirvishta Vishaya Sneha. So the more you read Bharavi, you will understand that there is one sweetness in the shlokas that Kalidasa writes, which is absent here. This is like initially very terse. Even if you have read it some 5 times, it's still, you can't just open the book and start doing. You need preparation for this. Okay. It does need a lot of preparation, so it won't seem very apparent. That's what it is.
And Anuprasa is just a repetition of the syllables, but what is the Cheka here? What is that distinction? Cheka Anuprasa?
So Vritti Anuprasa, Cheka Anuprasa, Yamakam. There are different types of Anuprasas. Cheka Anuprasa is where Swara Vyanjana Samuha Sakrid Avrittihi. So it is only once, it is a repetition of Vane. If you have a third Vane, then it is not Cheka Anuprasa. It is just Vritti Anuprasa.
Oh, I see. Okay, just once, I see.
Only once. There should be a repetition.
Yeah, to remember Cheka, Eka. Why remember?
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Another quality of Bharavi, not only Artha Gauravam, it's also a Pakam. We say, how do we understand. I said that there is a madhuryam in Kalidasas, right? So it is called drakshapaka. The moment you put in grapes, you immediately get the sweetness. Here also it is very sweet, but at the same time you'll have to take a long time to break open the coconut. So this is called a narikela pakam, where you take time to understand the shlokas, and then the sweetness comes through later. So this type of style of Bharavis is called narikela pakam.
They say the same thing about the Mummurtihal, musical Mummurtihal. Tyagaraja, Shyamasastri and
Draksha pakam and yeah.
So in this case, I mean, everybody else apart from Kalidasa would be Narikela, right? Even Naishadha is probably very, very hard Narikela then.
Naishadamla, ama. Sure. The hardest of this I've seen.
Okay. And if you look at Raghuvamsha, when you have this Mangala Shloka, you have a separate Shloka which is not really part of the Kavyam, right?
Correct.
Whereas here, it's as if he is not really paid that much attention to the Mangala Shloka. And I know Shriya can be Mangala Charanam and okay, but still that's kind of like, it's kind of like maybe the interpreter is reading into it rather than him putting an explicit Mangala Shloka. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is just a Vastu Nirdesha. He is trying to put in the bijam which led to Arjuna going to tapas and fighting with Shiva.
I mean, I understand that you're reading it as Vastu Nirdesha, but immediately he starts off with the story pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's what I mean to say is there is not a specific separate Mangala Shloka.
No, there is no. Even in Kumarasambhavam,
Kumarasambhavam,
Astitarasyam Dishi Devatatma Himalayo Namagadhirajaha. Purvaparo. He starts off with Himalayas there. We have Himalayas. What is the description of Himalayas? That's how he starts off. In Meghasandesham, Kaschit Kanta Viraha Guruna Swadhikarat Pramattaha. He starts off with the Yaksha there. Directly the story. That's all.
But in, I think, Shakuntalam, he doesn't do that. He's got his
it's a natakam. The rule of a natakam is you have an Andi Shloka. So all three have an Andi Shloka there. Raghuvamsham, probably he feels, that's why he has a Purupitika for Raghuvamsham. Soham Ajanma Shuddhanam, Udbahuri Vavan Manaha. I am trying to reach something which is beyond my capabilities and all that. He has a humility, modesty. He conveys his modesty also in that. So in that way, Raghuvamsham seems to be a completely different type of kavyam.
So more like it. That seems like his first attempt. I mean,
I would say it is his last attempt. If his first attempts were all the others, he wanted to give in the rules of everything and try to, and madri irukku more than others. Whereas if Ritu Samharam edutha, there also you don't have any starting Mangala Shloka there. He just starts off with the Grishma Kala Varnana. And then there are works like that without a Mangala Shloka. You just assume that Astyuttarasyam, A is Brahma, Ka is Brahma, ityadi.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like the later aestheticians, the analyzers of poetry, are reading too much into it. It could be a possibility. That's what I feel.
Yeah, his mind was not to start off with the rules. Okay. Shriyah Kurunam Adhipasya Palanim Prajasu Vrittim Yamayunta Veditum Savarnilingi Viditas Samayayo Yudhishtiran Dvaitavane Vanecharaha. Now what did he do? Krita Pranamasya Mahim Mahi Bhuje Jitam Sapatnena Nivedayishyataha Navivyathe Tasya Mano Nahi Priyam Pravaktumichanti Mrisha Hitaishinaha. Hitaishinaha, okay. Now Krita Pranamasya Mahi Bhuje Sapatnena jitam mahim nivedayishyataha tasya manaha na vivyate. So the main sentence here is tasya manaha na vivyate. His mind did not, it did not suffer. He was not experiencing vyatha, manovyatha. He was not anguished by the words that he was going to tell him. Okay, so tasya manaha na vivyate. Tasya, everything else is now, we have two adjectives for tasya. Tasya is in Shashti Vibhakti, Ekavachanam. Krita pranamasya tasya manaha. He first did a namaskara to Yudhishtira. He is appointed by Yudhishtira. So Yudhishtira is Swaprabhuhu. Tarhi tasya prathamam pranamah kartavyaha. So krita pranamasya tasya vanecharasya. So the vanechara first did the namaskara to Yudhishtira. And then what was his work here? He was going to convey Nivedayishyataha. This is also in Shashti Ekavachanam as an adjective to tasya. So Nivedayishyataha. Nivedayishyati, he is going to convey. Nivedayishyan, as he will be conveying, as he, a person, it is an adjective to tasya, right? So he who was going to convey the news about the kingdom that was won over by Duryodhana. So sapatnena jitam mahim nivedayishyataha. As a person who was going to convey about the bhumi, mahi, which was jitam, which was won over, which was conquered by his enemy, by Yudhishthira's enemy. He wanted to convey that news to Mahi Bhuje. This is in fourth case here. To Yudhishtira. So Yudhishthiraya, Nripaya, atra Mahi Bhuje ityuktam. He still considers Yudhishthira as his king. So that is why his loyalty is shown here. It's not just Yudhishthira, but and also imagine you have to tell it to a king who expects some good news, but this spy is going to say that Duryodhana is ruling really well. The people are going to forget your name. So that's the crux of the whole ukti that the Vanechara is going to say. What he is going to say is indicated by the shloka here. So he first does a namaskaram, and then he is going to talk about the bhumi that was won over by Sapatna Shatruhu. Shatruna Duryodhanena jitam mahim, mahi bhumi vishaye, ragnye mahi bhuje nivedayishyataha. As he was going to talk about it, his mind did not even show any grief. He was not worried about it in his mind. Tasya manaha na vivyate. His mind was not troubled by it. Why? See, he is going to talk about Duryodhana ruling very well. Then which means the Yudhishthira will feel a little, upset about it. If Duryodhana was not ruling properly, then the prajaha, the subjects will want a new ruler. They will start civil disturbances, civil wars and all that. But none of those things are happening. The rule is very beautiful. So which means it is a bad news for Yudhishthira here. Right? So even though the Vanechara is conveying a bad news to Yudhishthira, still his mind was not troubled by it at all. Because he substantiates it with the last sentence here. Hitaishinaha mrisha priyam pravaktum na icchanti. Wherever you see na, connect it with the dhatu. Always. Na vidyate. It did not trouble him. Na hi priyam avada na icchanti. So in the Anvaya, we have rephrased it here as na icchanti. So hitaishinaha. People who people who only wish for hitam, for the other person, they mrisha priyam pravaktum na icchanti. They will never talk something which is very nice, yet it is false. Mrisha asatyam. Asatyam madhuram vakyam vaktum na icchanti. They do not wish to speak words which are priyam, but at the same time it is false. So you can substantiate when you are writing about the shloka, you can also write the subhashitam, satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat satyam apriyam. Right? So you can talk the truth. You can also talk priyam bruyat. You should also speak nice words, sweet words. But at the same time, you should not speak words which are false just because they are sweet. So try to speak something which is the truth. If Ilana, in Karthala we saw in Vishnu Puranam, he says, Maunam Varaha. It is better to keep quiet rather than speak something which is not desirable for the other person to listen to. So best is keep quiet. No? So nahi priyam pravaktum hitaishinaha mrisha priyam pravaktum na icchanti. Hitaishinaha, hitaishi, hitam ichchati iti hitaishi. இங்க போட்டிருக்கோம் ஹிதம் இச்சந்தி இது ஹிதைஷி. ஸோ ஒன் ஹூ விஷஸ் ஃபார் ஹிதம், ஒன் ஹூ அதாவது அது என்ன அந்த அப்ரியஸ்ய ச பத்யஸ்ய வக்தா ஸ்ரோதா ச துர்லபஹாம். I think this comes in Ramayana. Apriyasya cha pathyasya. Pathyam is something that is hitam, beneficial. But at the same time it is apriyam. Then vakta shrota cha durlabha. A person who can say something that is beneficial yet it is katu, harsh to the ears. The person who speaks it and a person who is willing to listen to it are rare in this world. Durlabha. It's not easy to find such people. So this is an alankara called Arthantaranyasa. So we'll read the Pratipadartham and Bhavartha and then I will go into the alankaras. Okay. Okay. Illana adi mudichudrene better. Okay. Mahim Mahi Buje again is Chekanuprasa because there is only once it is repeated, Mahi and Mahi. Arthantaranyasa just says Purva Kathanam Chaturthapadena Samarthyate. Arthantaranyasa is an alankara where you are stating a prakritam and it is a particular statement which is being substantiated by a general statement. Lokokti dwara, loka ukti, proverb kind of thing. So you are justifying a statement using a proverb like a lokokti. So when a samanya is justified by a vishesha or a vishesha is justified by samanya, Vishesha, Samanya Vishesha, Samanyam is general thing. Vishesha is a particularity. Now here, in particular, we are talking about how a Vanechara is, his mind does not get troubled when he is trying to talk about how Duryodhana is ruling. So that part is actually apriyam. So even though he is going to talk something which is not sweet, yet his mind was not, he is not troubled to talk something apriyam. Okay. Now why is that? It expects everybody who wants to say something which is unpleasant, they feel upset to talk something unpleasant. Whereas here it says that tasya manaha na vivyate, then that statement needs a justification. So you justify it with a general statement in the sense you're talking in general. People who want hitam, hitaishinaha, people who wish to speak only things that are beneficial, they will not speak pleasant words, false pleasant words. It doesn't matter to them if they speak unpleasant words. So this is not talking about in particular the Vanechara, but he is talking about in general people who want beneficial things, things that are hitam. So hitaishinaha is a group of people, let's say. It is a generality. You're talking in general about people who like things which are good for them. Yudhishtira is a person like that also. At the same time, the Vanechara is a person like that. So the particular person here, Vishesha is Vanechara and the generality is hitaishinaha. சரியா? So this statement justifies the earlier three statements. So the alankara is called Arthantaranyasa. Next in my list it is Shankari. So you can read Pratipadartha.
Pratipadartha. Krita pranamasya, krita namaskarasya, sapatnena shatruna duryodhanena, jitam swayati kritam, mahim bhumim.
So swayati kritam is aswayattam, swayattam sampadyamanam. Right? So that which is not belonging to you has now made to belong to you. அந்த மாதிரி எடுத்து Chui pratyaya. Yes, it's a Chui pratyaya. So Duryodhana did not have it with him before. Now he has made it as his. Yeah.
Mahim bhumim, mahi bhuje ragnye dharmarajaya, nivedayishyatah. Nivedayishyatah katayatah. This is also the bhavishyat kala.
This should be in bhavishyat kala. In general, this should be kathayishyatah. It will be nice if they had done that also. But yeah.
तस्य वनेचरस्य
It's still Shatru. We just have it's still Shatru Pratyaya.
कथयतः
Nivedayishyatah is also Shatru. Both of them are Shatru. Only thing is it's missing the sya for the future participle. The sya.
Lit. And that is not there. Yeah.
तस्य वनेचरस्य मनः चित्तं न विव्यथे बाधां न प्राप हि
This is the lit lakara for vyath dhatu.
But karmani, right? But karmani, I think.
Why?
Manaha na, the mind did not change. It was not troubled. The mind was not troubled, right? It's not like the mind troubled somebody. Katruvachakam nasti khalu tatra. Manaha iti katruvachaka padam nasti khalu.
कर्म அது
இங்க கர்ம கர்த்தரி மாதிரி வருது.
Okay.
You can have it as kartari lit.
Yeah.
Kartari lit means the mind troubled someone அப்படி வரும் இல்லையா?
The mind. Okay.
I mean, this is a okay. This is akarmaka dhatu only, but still I feel like it is.
It's the same form in both Kartari and Bhava Karma.
Yes, it is. So here I would. நான் பார்த்து சொல்றேன் ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம். Maybe vivyathe could be karma. Sounds more like karmani.
வலினத ஒன்னு சொல்லல.
I think it is just கர்த்தரி. இந்த கர்ம கர்த்தரி மாதிரி வராத, மனசு வந்து தவிக்கல அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி.
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, I mean it could, I guess it could be.
Or பீடிதம் நாஸ்தின்னு சொன்னேன்னா then I have to take it as karmani.
Yeah, if you say pīditam then it becomes karma. Okay, astu.
Yeah.
हि यस्मात् कारणात् हितैषिणः स्वामिहितार्थिनः
Those who wish for the hitam, benefit of the Swami Lord.
मृषा मिथ्याभूतं प्रियं मधुरं वाक्यं प्रवक्तुं निवेदयितुं न इच्छति न अभिलषन्ति.
Ichanti iti atra. This is a typo. Mrisha is an avyayam for mithya.
सवनेच्छरः दुर्योधनेन जितां भूमिम् उद्दिश्य धर्मराजाय निवेदयामास. That forest dweller, he reported to the king Yudhishtira regarding the bhumi earth won by Duryodhana. तदा तादृशम् अप्रियं स्वप्रभवे कथयन् सः व्यथां न आप. He felt no distress while speaking such an unpleasant news to the master.
Swaprabhave prabhuhu chaturthi prabhave kathayan.
ये स्वामी हितम् इच्छन्ति ते प्रियमपि असत्यं वचनं न कथयन्ति खलु. Those who desire the welfare of their master do not speak words that are pleasing but not true.
False.
False. Untrue.
Yes. Okay. So कृतप्रणामस्य महिं मही भुजे जितां सपत्नेन निवेदयिष्यतः न विव्यते तस्य मनो न हि प्रियं प्रवक्तुमिच्छन्ति मृषा हितैषिणः. So we'll finish today. Any doubts?
Hitaishinah are well-wishers. இல்லையா?
Well-wisher போடலாம். Yes.
That's a samastha padam, right? Hita plus
hitam ichanti. Yeah.
Hitam ichanti aishi varuma இல்ல ஏஷி வருமா?
ஏஷினன். Hita plus ஏஷினஹ.
ஏஷின் இச்சில இருந்து ஏஷி வரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
இனி பிரத்யா, right?
இஷு தாத்துல இருந்து இஷ்யத்தேல இருந்து ஏஷி வரணும். சோ அப்போ
कित् प्लस इष् प्लस निनि कर्तरि ताच्छील्ये
நினி பிரத்யா ஆனா இஷு தாத்து நினைக்கிறேன். இட் கான்ட் பி இச்சு இல்ல,
इष् only
இஷு
not
தானே.
इष् इष्
அப்ப இஷு இச்சாயாம் அதுல தான் வரணும். ஓகே
அப்ப
தென்
என்ன
த
உபபத சமாசம் மாதிரி அது?
but ishu ichayam is upapada samasa. Ishu is also ichhati only. Okay, fine. Ishyate is the karmani prayoga. Fine.
हितमिच्छन्ति इति हितैषिणः.
Mrisha is basically adverbial, right? Mrisha means in
No,
vain.
mrisha is an adjective to priyam here.
As adjective.
Mrisha priyam pravaktum na icchanti.
Look at the dictionary. I guess it can be used either as an adverb or an adjective.
Yeah, why not? It's an avyaya. So it depends on the context wherever you want to use. Asatyam ityeva. Hello, kimartham tatra?
Tatra, okay.
Oh, falsely அப்படின்னு மீனிங் போட்டிருக்கிறதுனால பாக்குறேன். Look at Amarakosha. Mrisha mithya vitathe vitataarthe mrisha mithya iti padam.
So it's not adjective. I mean, it's not adverbial. It's adjective here.
It depends. Okay.
I guess
சபத்னேனங்கிறது வந்து பத்னியா ராஜேஸ்வரி எடுத்துட்டு அதுக்கான லைக் டூ பீப்புள் ஃபைட்டிங் ஃபார் ஒன் அப்படிங்கிற மீனிங்ல.
ஆமா. ஸோ சபத்னாங்கிறது யூஸ்வலி சத்ரு. ஆக்சுவலி சஹா ஒரே விஷயத்துக்கு ரெண்டு பேர் ஃபைட்டிங், அதுதான் அங்க. ஸோ இப்போ சபத்னி அப்படின்னு சொன்னோம்னா then it is சபத்னி, then we say she is the co-wife. ஒரு ஹஸ்பண்டுக்கு ரெண்டு வைஃப் இருக்கிறச்சே the other wife is called சபத்னி. அது மாதிரி சபத்னாங்கிறது இங்க ரைட், அதுதான்.
One bhumi, two raja.
Yes. Any other doubts? Yeah. Check.
it comes in Bhagavad Gita, right? Nai prapashyami mamapanudyatya chokamuchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumav asapatnam riddham.
Asapatnam. Without any shatru. Correct.